Please remain standing and remove your cap for the performance of our national anthem by a disabled veteran who served our country as a U.S. Navy Petty Officer Third Class, James Greer.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Raider Nation, welcome to For Life Our Raiderettes Roundtable. I'm Spicy Mother Girl here with Mother Moon, and we are happy to be celebrating Veterans Day with some fabulous females of Raider Nation who have served our country. And can I just say, that video kind of gave me chills.
I know, I still have them. You're right. I know.
Yeah.
Just hearing that in the Oakland Coliseum, seeing the plane go over, it's just really warms my heart.
Yeah, so thank you again.
Thank you, ladies.
So everyone, show your appreciation for everyone that has been a veteran. I'm sure we all know somebody. And I just want to say, Veterans Day is the anniversary of the end of World War I, to honor the U.S. veterans and victims of all wars, which is different than Memorial Day,
Yes.
which honors those that lost their lives while serving. So we just want to say thank you to everyone thank you for your service. And I guess we'll get right into it. The drinking game alert tonight is service. So every time we say service, you better drink, toke, or twerk. Oh my goodness, I have a feeling
There we go.
you might be celebrating this Veterans Day. And if you're of age, because we've actually got a future veteran backstage who should only be twerking. Wait, no, none of the above.
None. You are not allowed to do any of
I
this.
can't do any of them. Oh my goodness. But we have a fabulous lineup tonight featuring the ladies of Raider Nation that have served our country. We have Army veteran Raider Pac, Marine veteran Tinker Hell, future Raider Private Army Sienna Souza, Marine veteran Monica, and then we tentatively might have Army veteran Rachel Brown. She's on duty tonight, serving our country in a different way at the firehouse, so she might be able to tune in. And then, of course, we are going to start the show by remembering our sister who has recently passed, not in service directly, but of course our beautiful sister Sylvia Menchaca Segura, who was a Navy veteran, as she served as a petty officer. And we'll be sharing some photos of the ladies throughout, so I just want to start with some photos of Sylvia here. This one is one of my favorites. Look how young
Yeah,
she looks.
Yeah.
Wait, this one? No, the Aquanet was real.
Oh,
The Aquanet was real.
it still is.
But look,
But, oh.
carrying on the tradition there of not only, you know, her son in the Army, but her daughter Estrella in
That's
the
what-
Army outfit, or excuse me, Navy.
Wait.
Navy.
I
My
know, we're all
goodness,
Army.
I knew that.
Which we're going to find out why you chose that particular branch to go into. So please stay tuned.
Yes, and again, we just want to honor our sister who is no longer with us today, but we want to thank her for her service as well, and her family, and everyone's family, because, you know, we recognize that you know, you're sacrificing time away from your family and things of that nature. So, you know, I think that needs to be acknowledged as well.
Absolutely.
If you're watching over there on Facebook, join us on YouTube so we can hear your comments. We can see your comments. You could ask any of the ladies questions or just show your love for them on this Veterans Day.
And you did mention that, you know, the fellas we have some veterans in our chat line too. So right now it's about the ladies, but we honor and appreciate you as well.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that, Mother Moon. So we are going to get into our first veteran right here. Army veteran Raider Pac is going to be joining us. I see her backstage.
Hey, Raider Pac, welcome.
Hey.
Our
Thank
veteran,
you.
our first veteran of the night. How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Really quickly, we want to join. We have Raider. Oh, nope.
Oh,
Okay,
no,
go ahead.
where'd you go? Okay, we had another crew with us, but she'll be back in just a minute. But welcome, and thank you again. And once again, as we say, we appreciate you. We appreciate your service you did in protecting us while you were out in the wild out there. So tell us, Raider Pac, to start it off, where did you get your Raider name from, or what brought that on?
My Raider name came because I love Tupac so much. I mean, he, from as young as I can remember, it was him and Michael Jordan. Those were the posters I had in my room. Be walking to school with my little CD Walkman back in the day, listening to him and things like that. And when I was 16, I got his name tattooed on me. That's the only tattoo that I have. It's the only thing that's ever meant so much to me that I wanted to have it with me at all times. So that's where that came from.
Nice. And then, so you took Pac with you into the service. When did you enlist?
I enlisted after 9/11.
Okay. Is that what brought you to enlist, because of 9/11?
Yeah, prior to that, I had never even fathomed thinking of joining the military. It's not something my family has done. So my dad actually joined the military, but he got kicked out for failure to adapt because he wouldn't clean or make his bed. So yeah.
Well, you're the opposite of that.
Yes. Really quickly, Raider Pac, we're going to bring in Raider Rosie. She's joining us here. Hey, Raider Rosie. So go ahead. You can continue your story.
Well, I was just saying that after 9/11 happened, I decided to join the military. So it wasn't something that I had thought about or planned about, growing up. It was something kind of sporadic that happened.
So when you decided to enlist, how did you tell your family then? It was just like, I'm going and I need to do this?
Yeah, my grandma raised us. I went and talked to my grandma, let her know, basically just told her what the recruiters told me. It's a good opportunity. I could go to college because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to afford it, be able to travel and serve my country. And she was all for it and supported me every step of the way.
Okay, cool. What was it that the Army taught you? I mean, besides making a perfect bed.
Well, the bad thing, I don't know if I could still do that. I would come back from PT in the morning and all the beds in our room would be thrown on the ground because I was the only one that would always do my corners backwards. And I think it's because I'm left-handed. That's what I'm going to say, because no one else in our room was, no one else was left-handed and mine was always backwards. So I made friends real quick. They started making my bed in the morning for me. But I learned,
That's good.
yeah, they'd
You
always
wanna
come
be
and check because otherwise I'd have to come back and their beds would be thrown on the ground. It was an army of one back then, which one person messes up, you all are paying for it. So,
So that's just it. They don't want to remake their bed just because of you.
yeah, exactly.
So how many ladies were with you? You were in the bunk? Is that what you call them?
Yeah, so we had one of the smaller, we called them suite mates. We had one of the smaller ones. There was 6 in our room, but in the big bay, there was, I think, like 30 in one of the rooms. I'm glad I didn't get stuck in that one. And it was bad enough having to like share bathrooms and showers. Bathrooms didn't have doors. You walk in, it's like a regular, community bathroom with like 3-4 stalls and no doors on them. And the showers was just like a round shower. You're all just standing around. So you just get in, do what you got to do, get out. Not sitting there talking, things like that. So, yeah, I had one of the smaller ones, which was great.
Oh, good. Now, have you been traveling with the Army as far as we're able to see the games? Sorry about that. Did you see any traveling?
Well, I'm originally from Northern California, so I would come back every year and try to go like around Christmas time and try to schedule around the Raiders and try to make one game. Sometimes I can make it here twice a year, but usually it was once. And also I'm the only Raider fan in my family, so it was hard to find people to go with me. I have friends, in high school and middle school and things that were Raider fans also, but they all had kids fairly early and weren't really able to, go to games and spend their money on things like that.
Okay. Tell me, when you went to basic training, since you didn't know you were going to go, you decided to go after 9/11, was it a shock when you arrived there? What was your basic training like?
There was an initial shock when we got on it was called like cattle cars or something like that. Basically, it's what they use to move cows and horses and things like that. They shoved us all in there, and we'd go from one building to another, or if we go out to the range and things like that, where we go shoot, fire our weapons. But once I got there, I already was living on my own. I stated earlier I live with my grandma, but when I was 15, I no longer live with her. She booted me out, and then I moved back with my parents, and then my parents moved out. I didn't move out, they moved out. And so I was by myself. So I was already taking care of myself, doing things like that. So once I joined going there, I was there with a lot of people my age that, didn't even know how to wash clothes or, clean and things like that. So for me, it was fairly easy switching over. And I'm what's the word? I'm very punctual. I can't stand being late. I don't like when other people are late. I like all of the things that the Army instills. Well, not just the Army, the military in general, but instills in people. And so for me, it was easy. I didn't like people yelling in my face this close, but I knew they weren't yelling at something that I did because I was pretty great at boot camp. I was like the top fastest runner. I was an expert shooter, marksman. So my drill sergeants liked me, but they're not allowed to really, say that. They still got to treat you like crap to try to square you away. So.
Can I just tell a funny little story really quickly that when you said you're an expert shooter reminded me of this? Raider Pock and I were at an A's game one time, and this guy comes up to us. He's like this 6 foot tall, 6'5", 300 and something pound dude. He's all like built, and he comes up to us and he's like, "You ladies need security today?" And Pock goes, "I am the security." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh yeah, I forget. I hang out with like a trained assassin. I'm totally safe."
Well, it made you tough. It made you tough, and it made you independent. And the way we've traveled with you before, and you're punctual, you're on time, you're thoughtful. But she didn't make her bed, though, right?
Well, Pop, we want to keep you on. We're going to bring in our next guest, if you'll stay with us. We're going to bring in Tinker Hale for this next segment here. Thank you so much for your service. Please stay with us. We'll chat with you throughout the show, of course.
Thank you.
All right, like I said, we are going to bring in Tinker Hell, and we're going to keep Raider Puck on as well, and we're going to hear these stories. But I just want to acknowledge the chat a little bit here. You ladies are getting so much love. Richard, Sultan, Squid, J Dub,
Wow.
Caesar, Lady T, B, everyone, Benjamin, everyone in the chat line, Omar, and I know some of you in the chat are
Military
veterans as well, males, of course. We want to thank you. Let's bring everyone back in here. Tinker Hell, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Yes, thank
Good
you.
evening. Good evening. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
Happy Veterans Day, everybody.
Yes, happy
Veterans Day.
Thank you for all your service.
So yeah, okay. Should we start with the photos?
Well, I don't know.
You look so. I don't want to use the right word. I love the photos you sent. I'll just put it that way. We'll make a way for those.
Okay.
Let's hear her story first.
Let's hear. Let's just ask Raider Paw. Tell us about Tinker Hell. Now, what I have to say, Tinker Hell just is like, it sounds tough, and that smile and your cuteness, it's like it's just everything. But go ahead.
So Tinker Hell has morphed a little bit from 2012. I like the harder characters like Violator and Destruction. So originally I actually had a lot of glitter skulls. So I didn't want to have the rhinestones and all the glitter, but later years and all the traveling, decided to make the costume or the character a little bit easier. And I figured after a certain age, I wanted it to be a little bit easier, and you wanted to look a little cuter the older you got. So Tinker Hell sort of morphed. She's still hard ass, but she just smiles a lot more and tries to look a little cuter, and will cut you down with a smile instead.
I love it. Oh my goodness, isn't that the truth? I was like, you reel him in with a smile. And go get him, girl. And I just said you had commented on Raider Pox. You said cattle cars, ha ha ha, the memories. So I guess you had a similar experience. I was a little offended by that.
Cattle cars.
Should I be?
Well, it's probably just no. You shouldn't be. I don't know. You tell us.
No, they were real.
So that was Monica, because she and I. And I know she'll probably say it. She and I actually went to boot camp together. We went to the processing center and stayed in a hotel together the night before we went to boot camp. And she remembers it a lot better than I do. I sort of blanked out a little bit more. Yes, but the cattle cars are, nothing to be offended about. It's just, you put a lot of like on the highway, you see cows or you see horses all put together in one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how they put us in there, back to front, sometimes a whole bunch of them. And that's how they got us from one place to another without seats. Sometimes usually we're just standing.
And
sort of
so
like on the
how long
bar.
did you travel like that? Like in hours?
No, not hours. It wasn't hours. It's just mass transportation, short amounts of time, sort of like the BART, but there's no seats.
So like the BART?
The BART. Bay Area.
No, I get it.
Rapid transit,
Yeah,
It's just
like
funny
BART.
that that's what he's comparing me to. Like,
like a mini train, not a full caboose train, but like the BART.
Right.
And those who don't know what the BART is the Bay Area Rapid Transit that you go to Oakland. But if you're a Raider fan,
you should know.
You should know.
and actually, yeah, tell us how you became a Raiders fan. Not just the character or the persona, but yeah, like just as a fan.
So I didn't grow up with any men in my family, and I just ended up, my mom did not get how I ended up liking these bearded criminals in the, 70s, 80s, 77,
Yeah.
76, 77 season. And so I always had she always had a friend take me to the stadium, take me to the games. And my sisters didn't go, but it was me, and I ended up loving them. We all had biker friends and stuff, so the guys with the beards didn't scare me. It was like they were family, you know. So watching football, learning it on my own, and that was pretty much it. And you know, I went to games when I could.
With the criminals of the 70s.
Well,
Remember, they're
spoke
trained
about it.
assassins. They're not afraid.
That's true.
But if you have house, sort of like the movie Mask, where you had like the motorcycle guys sometimes around, they look tough.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
or nowadays we say Sons of Anarchy, but if they look tough, you had friends from all over, and sometimes the tough looking guys were the nicest guys. And so
Right.
that's what I saw for the Raiders. So
Nice. Love that. Now, not only were you in the service for almost 24 years,
Wow.
drink for service, is that correct? Let me correct me if I'm wrong.
yes,
For a
23
while.
years.
Would you continue to serve at the in the Virginia at the university or at?
No, I'm actually I worked for a Marine Corps unit on
Mhm.
Quantico as a management analyst or HR, doing HR work. Serving the public, customer service type stuff.
Yeah, almost 24 years plus. That's
Yeah, that's amazing.
Right.
And you only look like you're 36, so I'm not sure how that happened.
Mhm.
I think you
Yeah.
enrolled earlier than 18. I'm just saying.
So funny.
Yeah.
So, what advice do you think you can give to the younger generation?
About joining the service.
Yeah, service. Hold on.
I mean, it is I personally think it was it's for me it was somewhat easy because I grew up a little bit. I'm the oldest of three. Always had responsibility before I joined. And my nephew just joined, and actually he's not in the Marine Corps, but he's in the Air Force stationed at Nellis. So I actually get to see him when I go to games.
Oh, Vegas, nice.
So it's something to get a little bit more responsibility, stability, if that's what you're looking for. You can learn a marketable skill. So even if you do, whether you do 4 years or 24 years, you have something to try to transition to when you get out. And I think it's, a lot of other countries have an obligated service, and we don't. And it's just one of those things that I think that I think it's a wonderful thing. There obviously, like any job, there are pros and cons. I mean, but if you're working at McDonald's, you're going to get mad by being, you're going to be the bottom on the bottom rung until you're working on the cash register, So it's going to be the same thing as if you're in the military. It's going to suck at times, as with any job. But
Can I just say to your point, about like other countries, it's required. In here in America, it's a choice for the most part. I know they've had drafts in the past, but I actually think that's more honorable and more respect. Like, I respect you ladies more and everyone who served, because you're actually making the choice to do that and to fight for our country, and you're not doing it because our country made you. And to me that I think that's more honorable. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. So thank you again.
thank you.
So we have some photos. Did you want?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love these photos. I'm like,
Let me get ready. Let me get ready. I haven't seen them, so let's see what we.
Oh, you haven't seen them?
No.
Okay. Let me
She's already cracking it.
let me bring these up here. All right. Well. Hold on. Look at this one.
Yes.
How old are you in this photo?
18.
18? Okay. I think she fibbed though. I think she's like 13. No, I'm kidding. Look at this one.
Oh, I love that.
By the way,
What
do you
is this?
still have those uniforms?
I do. I do have the uniforms. The cover fits.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good.
I saw that.
No, I'm joking, but no, I do have the uniform still. Yes.
Okay. And Pac, I think you said you donated yours to your nephew or something, yes?
Yeah, I let him use it, but my dress uniform doesn't fit, but my my camo uniform fit the last time I tried it on. I don't know about now, but when I let him use it, we both tried it on.
So is there ever a need now as veterans that you would wear? Do they call it Class A uniform, or the dress, or they call it just dress uniform?
For the Army, our dress uniform is Class A. Yeah.
Okay. So would there be a time now that either for the Marine Tinker or for you Pac that you would wear that, or no?
So no, actually, because the Marine Corps birthday was yesterday,
Yes.
every unit in the Marine Corps has a Marine Corps ball, and so I'm actually going to my unit's ball next Friday.
Okay,
So
where is it? When? What?
Any singles?
Wait, when and what time and where?
Believe me, every unit somewhere near you, there's a unit that's having a ball. It doesn't matter where we are in the world, whether it's, you know, in Afghanistan, whether it's in the Bay Area, anywhere, they will have a ball at some place. A lot of them actually, when we go to the games, you'll probably see a lot of Marines walking
I was
around.
gonna say last year I think I was at Caesars. I think it was held at Caesars last year. I saw
Right.
the Marines on, but honestly, they look 12.
Yes. And so, we actually have instead of me wearing my uniform, I can actually wear a gown and I wear my medals.
Oh, cool.
You know,
I did notice some medals there that.
right. And usually sometimes you see the guys with the tuxedo and the medals, but the women, we can also wear ours with our gowns. I mean, we earned them also, so we might as well wear them
Oh,
when we
please.
dress up.
Oh, I love it.
I would love to see.
Is that the same Pac for you in the Army? Is that the same type of deal?
I think so. I haven't gone to any. I mean, when I was in, I worked for joint services, so it was all services or joint commands, and it was all services. And then when I got out, I worked for the Navy and Marines for 9 years as a contractor, then with the Coast Guard. So I'm more familiar with a lot of their things than actually the Army stuff, because it's been so long that I've been out of the Army, to be honest.
Okay, all right, fair enough. I want to show some more of these photos. These are, by the way, tell us. I guess we'll look at them here, but then after, maybe you can tell us how these are captured and how you acquired them.
Oh, I think this might have been Kuwait. People had a lot of instant cameras. This was 2003, if I'm not mistaken, 2003. And that was toward the beginning of the war. Well, no, I think that one might have been towards the end when we were closing up, but you know, about to leave. So
Okay.
a lot of people had the disposable cameras, then they would get them developed. And then, I mean, it's a lot easier now. Everybody's got a phone and so forth.
Right.
But yeah, so and getting it developed, and then usually you try to get two, so your buddy can get one copy and you can get one copy.
You gotta hit that double check mark, that doubles box.
Exactly. And they took a while to get, because you know, anybody who was going to someplace, or you'd hold all of them until you got someplace when you got back home, and you got them developed, and they were like a happy surprise later.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, Tinker Hell, if you'll stay with us, we would love to have you stay with us, but we're going to move along here because we have so many great ladies that have agreed to be on the show. We are going to bring, I think you said your bunk mate. Is that correct?
Now, Monica will clear it up.
Okay. Fair enough. All right, Monica, welcome to the show. Thank you for your service. Of course, we appreciate you being here. Marine Veteran Corporal Monica, thank you so much. So, can we just get right to it? I mean, you want to clear it up? No, I'm kidding.
What a bunk mate.
Hello, good evening. It was an honor to serve, and I want to wish Tinker and all the Marines out there a happy belated birthday. It's a big celebration for us the day before Veterans Day, so we get a few days of being drunk.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I feel ignorant asking this, but I will. Is it the 246?
7.
7.
Seven.
I was gonna say that.
Hope so. Hey.
How did I do that? But okay, all right. 247. So yes, happy birthday to the Marines.
Born in a bar.
Raw.
Wow. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. Tell us a little bit about your journey through the service.
Oh, wow. Born and raised in Vallejo. And I joined when I was 17.
Oh.
And it was November 1st when I met Tinker Hell in the back of our recruiter's car, taking us to the Richmond Hotel, where we stayed that night. Then we shipped out the next day. The next day we all swore in again, and the Navy Lieutenant Commander was swearing us in, and she's like, I want every male to look around here today because the only people joining the Marines today are women. So I hope you feel very strong and proud of yourself.
Wow.
And so, yeah, then we went off to South Carolina. It took us almost a day and a half, but we got there.
Tell about the hotel.
Was it a cattle car? Was it?
The cattle cars? No. Oh, so the cattle cars were for short distances around Paris Island, so that we just get it all in there for they can take us either to the rifle range or wherever we needed to go in a quick, rather a bus where everyone has to get on and sit down. They just get you in the cattle car because it's quicker, and then they just move you, and then you get off and get yelled at for something, whatever. And that's how we moved around base. But that was just for that area.
Tell about the hotel. I forgot about the hotel.
Forgot about the hotel, about the shootings that night. We heard gunfire even before we got to boot camp.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So that was an interesting experience, to say
So,
the
like
least.
right away when you first got there, you heard.
That night we were in the Iron Triangle in Richmond, and they put us up for the night. And then they put
Richmond, California.
And
I lived in
we
the
heard
Iron
gunfire that
Triangle.
night.
Oh my goodness.
We were like, wow, we're ready
That
for
wasn't
this.
part of the training, right? That was just like a bad neighborhood.
The Iron Triangle still is a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my mom grew up there, though. She'd tell you it was way different back in the day, but
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
They have a Navy. They used to have a Navy port out there. They still have the museum.
yeah, the
But
Rosie the Riveter.
Richmond is thick in Navy history.
Richmond's
Not Raider Rosie, but Rosie the Riveter.
yeah, Rosie the Riveter out there.
That persona started in Richmond, California, when the women went out to go build the steel for the ships because all the men were out to war. So Richmond is thick in history, but it's also a bad neighborhood.
You know what, though? What's so great about like being from the Bay is you're around people from all different, diversity. The thing with the military is we met people from different areas of the country with their different cultures, but being so diverse, nobody really shocked us, except those Massachusetts knots, but they're different.
I've heard about them. So tell us why did you decide to enlist?
I'm not a big college family,
Okay.
and so needed some guidance, somewhere to go. Working at Sun Valley Mall is only going to get me so far at the time. And so I enlisted at 7. My parents had to sign my contract. But hey, I want to tell you guys though, Tinker Hell's very humble. So in boot camp, she was voted Molly Marine, which was the most helpful recruit. She was always like, 2:00 in the morning braiding someone's hair, or she was always there for people. And she comes off, super nice. I wouldn't screw with her though, but
I got the warning.
Yeah.
Smile and then cut you. Got it.
yeah. So she was a great.
She got a knife or something. Wait, she pulled something out
Out of her
her
crowd.
crowd.
Yeah, you did.
Box cutter.
Oh, there.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know, right? I'm hanging out with her at the Raider games from now on.
Those aren't just pearls she has there.
Right.
I know.
All right, and tell us a little bit. Of course, we're celebrating the Veterans Day with you ladies, of course, but we're also celebrating the ladies of Raider Nation who are veterans. So tell me how you became a Raiders fan.
Oh boy. So I've been attending Raider games since the early 70s. And my dad's company that he worked for had season tickets. So I think there were like 12 of them, not too far behind the bench. Back then, the bench, and then you had the cyclone fence, and then the bleachers. And I remember, I think it was my first game. It was a Broncos game, and that's when you used to be able to have signs in the stadium. And I remember Flush the Crush was the big thing. You know, everything was the Orange Crush, and so that's how old I am. But I remember walking behind, going to the bathroom. So I'd have to walk behind the bench, and those guys, they're still giants today, but they were just gargantuans back then. And so I've been a Raiders fan ever since, when I moved back to the Bay Area and then attending games, and my now husband, we purchased 3 season tickets so we could take one guest to every game. And so
I love that.
It was really fun, and it was great just being around family again. I loved running into Tinker at the games, and it was just so wonderful in that sense. It's a family, and my husband's from Ireland, and he was the first legal purchase of a Raiders jacket on the island. And so, because I doubt we'd be married otherwise. But it was really, it's nice because we both enjoy it. We've the first time I met his mom was because the Raiders were in London. So we went to the London game and then hopped over to Ireland, afterwards. So that was a really great, met Rachel Brown there in London. And, we've taken my parents down to Mexico City. We've gone there twice. So it's fun that, he likes to travel for the matches. I'll travel for soccer for him, so he travels for the Raiders for me. So it works out. It's a good marriage.
I love that. It's clearly a family affair. And yes, we want to thank you for your service. We have another guest here that we want to make time for, but we'd love for you to stay on with us for the next. We've got 20 minutes left in the show, and we're just very happy just to be celebrating all of you ladies, to be honest. We've done a lot of shows, and I will say today, I think it was the most, I'm the most proud to put this show on today to honor all of you women on this special day. I think it should be a national holiday. I think it's kind of a pity that it's not. Yeah. So this is a way that we could at least, as Raiders family, try to honor all of you fabulous females in your own right. And of course, we use that term because of the Raider Ed. But you're all really the true heroes out there.
It's our honor.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to bring in our final guest, but please, ladies, stay with us for the duration of the show. All right, we have here.
Hey.
Hello. I will say good morning to you,
ladies,
Anna, because we have a future veteran, Private E.T. from the Army.
Yes.
She is coming live to us all the way from Korea.
So
it is tomorrow morning, the 12th. I think that's about 11:42, correct?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here. And it looks like, are you in your bunk or something like that?
Barracks room.
Thank you.
Thank you. The bunk would be the bed, right? No, I don't know.
I don't know. That's why we have these women here, is to break it down for us. Yeah.
But look at
you've got so much love here in the comments. Of course, this is your mother. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service to
Hi,
all.
Mom.
Hi, Mom, all the way from Korea. This is your grandmother here. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. Your brother, of course. Woo! What is up?
Yep.
So you got the family love. And speaking of the family love,
Let's tell.
You know,
Let's tell
tell-
that story.
let's tell your story. Why? I think I know the answer because it's a family
Yeah.
affair, right? Why did you decide to enlist?
So I had a lot of reasons why I enlisted. One of them being my dad. He's also in the Army too. You know, he's a big inspiration to me. You know, he's like the best out there, and I just want to be just like him. Another thing is the Army is my home. So I've always been with the Army because of my dad, and we've always been traveling around the world and stuff. And it's just been, you know, even though I don't have a specific home location, I just have the Army. It's my home.
I love that. So you basically grew up in it, right? You've
Yes.
all traveled the world with your dad. What is your dad's title or ranking?
So he's a master sergeant right now, but he's in an academy at in Texas right now. He's in the sergeant major academy. So once he's done there, he'll be a sergeant major.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. And so you've traveled the world with him,
To the Raider game.
not only as an Army family, but as a Raiders family, correct?
Yes, diehard Raider fans, all four of us.
and of course you were just born into it, correct? Is that why you're a Raiders fan?
Yes, I think my dad's the biggest Raider fan in the family.
I think he is. You know. Now let me tell you a little bit about your dad. So I guess Angela and your dad grew up together as kids, and your grandma Mickey, who is here with us today, I knew her before your dad was born. So I've known about you through their eyes, through their stories, and to watch you grow up. And so proud of you. So proud of you. So
Yes,
thank
so
you.
proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And I love how you're representing the Raiders in
Of
your
course,
barricade.
they had one here.
They have one. You're the one.
You're the one. So, Mother Moon, do you have some questions for? But I know the ladies that are on the panel. They're excited to talk to you. They want to give you some advice and things of that nature. But do you have some questions for her before we get into that?
Well, knowing that you grew up in the service, is there anything that was a surprise once you got there on your own through boot camp, or was it pretty much what you expected, knowing information?
I think I pretty much knew like most of what it was going to be like. Probably it was very strenuous at some points, which was pretty much expected. But one thing I didn't expect was the people there. Like there was, it's all kinds of different people who enlisted for different reasons. And just making friends with a bunch of people there, it was great. Like I wasn't expecting that at all. We came close together as like this one big family, like sucking through basic training together. And it was really nice.
Well, that's what Monica was just saying too when she met Tinker Hell, that they bonded right away. Now look at years later, you still have that friendship through the service. So you're going to have a lifelong friendship with everyone you have there. So that's fantastic. Another thing I was just wondering, how do you make your bed?
That's like your most important question
That's my most
to everyone. Because she never makes hers.
No, let me tell you,
I had troubles doing the corners and all that too, so no one's alone there. I had help as mom as well.
We have bunk beds now for guests, and it's like I try to make those, and it's like it's not happening. It's not happening.
This is funny, J-Dub. You've got some love here for some family and friends, but this is funny. J-Dub says, she even says, sergeant, not sergeant. Damn good, I must say.
You can't say it again.
That is so funny.
So how do you communicate with your family now? I would think it would be much easier through, you could do a Zoom or like right now, they're there chatting with you. So is it easier to be away since it's maybe easier to communicate with them?
In some cases, yes. I use Facebook. WhatsApp is very good for FaceTime and text and calling. So I use those a lot, and it's been pretty easy so far. So no roadblocks or nothing there.
And what is your I don't lifelong plan. I don't know, but do you plan on being in the service for years to come, like your dad?
I'm not a for lifer, so probably not 20 years, maybe about in like maybe 8-year range or so. I want to reenlist one more time and see where I go from there. But I'm not sure what the future holds for me.
All right. Well, fair enough.
Yeah.
If you haven't already, please light that torch by hitting that like button. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. It's free to become a subscriber. And I just want to talk a little bit about your background here. So you provide the Army with information about the enemy. That sounds like a pretty important job. The specialists are responsible for analyzing, processing, distributing intelligence to Army personnel. That sounds like a big deal. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah. When I first, was looking at all the jobs that I could get, I'm like, wow, this one seems really interesting. I really want this one. And so that's what I went with, because, it was like, oh, you got to be like super smart as well. I'm like, I can do it, pretty smart myself.
I know, right? I love the confidence. And we have Tinker Hell, who's in our panel here. She wants to know, how deep is the nation in Korea?
Ooh.
Okay. Well, it's a pretty large area. Like, I'm pretty much in northern South Korea right now, so it's it's a pretty smaller place, but like the rest of South Korea, I'm not really sure. So
I think
so. So you're saying you're the only Raiders fan there?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there are some like personnel that are here as well. So I'm not sure about the rest of where I'm at, but I've seen a couple of people here that are in the nation.
All right, fair enough. So before we bring back the entire panel to chat with you, go ahead, but I want to show some photos.
Sure, I wanted you to share your Raider name.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so let everyone know your Raider name. When you told me what the meaning was behind it and how you came to it, I was really impressed. So please share with everyone.
All right. Well, my my name is Raider Wing Siana because it basically means that I've just flown to and lived around the world, wings flying around, and that I'm a wing woman, and that I've loved the Raider motto for as long as I can remember. I've committed to it, and even before I joined the Army, I've been committed to it, and now I apply that in everything I do, and that's why I win. I'll continue to soar, on wings, and I'll continue to do that wherever I land, and I'll preach the Raider gospel.
All right, I love that. Amen to that. I see a lot of head nods over here. We love it. We love it. Before we bring the panel back on, I'm going to show some photos that we have of you. I think this one is my favorite. This is you spoke about you and your dad. I love this photo of the two of you. I think that's super sweet.
Yes, I love these photos so much.
I love this one as well. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so basically, I went home before I came over here, and I got to see my family one more time before I got deployed, and we decided, hey, let's take pictures in our uniform together, and that'd be like a really, really cool idea. And so I loved it, and the pictures are really awesome, and they came out really good.
Those are great. Those are like frameable for sure.
Yes.
And I just want to show a couple more photos. This is you and your brother in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. We love the
That's
family.
my favorite picture. Yep.
And then of course the one you went to the London game representing Raider Nation. So when you were there, was your dad stationed there? Is that or nearby? Is that why you attended that game?
Nearby, yes. He was actually stationed in Italy at the time, and so when we traveled over there twice for 2 games, and it was a really cool experience because not only did we get to see the games, but we got to kind of walk around and see what London had to offer, and it was a lot.
Yeah, very cool. Was it ironically that was it? What was the first Raiders game you attended? Was that it? Because you were mostly raised overseas, correct?
Yes, I think it was 2018, the one where we were against the Seahawks in London. That was my very first Raider game.
Who can say that? Who can say that? Especially coming from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Like your family's from the Bay Area, and you're like, yeah, I was overseas, and my first Raider game was in London.
Yes.
I have one last question for you before we bring the panel on. So, how you said you're going to re-enlist? How long are you enlisted for now?
My contract is 3 years. So after those 3 years, I'll get the option to re-enlist, and that's what I'll do for probably another 3 years.
All right, beautiful. Well, everyone is on, but I'm going to.
Do you have any questions for
if you
the
have any
veteran?
questions, please let us know. We've got everyone in here now, of course. Ladies, welcome back. Of course, we want to thank all of you for your service. Listen, we'll put us down here. Look we're gonna be bottom because the ladies that serve should be up top.
I like that.
So, ladies, do you have any questions for each other, or any advice to give, or any stories you can share, any memories that come back?
Can I get a funny story when you were at boot camp? Like, I don't know.
From anyone.
Crawl through the mud and then made it out. They're like, I don't know if I should tell that one.
Yeah. Thinking about it.
And thank you, Raider Gabe. Thank you. He says, salute Mother Moon Spicy. Great show. Thank you. We're really proud of this show.
Yeah. Any questions from the chat line that we could offer up? I can't see that part. So.
I said boot camp was so long ago.
Raider Shy Girl, that's what y'all should be. Well, when's the next time everyone's coming to Las Vegas?
If anyone's thinking of joining, if you're thinking of joining, don't join in, the summer or the winter. I went to
I joined in the winter.
May very hot.
Why is that? Because it's too cold or too hot?
Yeah, try to plan it out.
Oh, is it because of
try to plan it out.
Forms or?
So for the Marine Corps,
you're outside. So the elements, exposed to the elements.
Okay.
So we all used to go to for the women, we only used to go to one place, which was South Carolina. And most recently, as of yesterday, I think was the last all female, we only saw female. That was our boot camp was only females, and we only went to South Carolina, whereas the men, they went to either San Diego or South Carolina. Now the women are actually going to both. So when you talk about the weather, that's actually a factor for us now, whereas before it was just if we had to worry about South Carolina weather. Now we actually have to think about, both sides, and so it's a big deal this year.
Got you. We have a few questions here. This one says, Sienna, did your drill sergeant know your dad was a drill?
Oh.
Actually, no, they didn't. I don't think I remember telling them, but I think I had told one of them that, but he really, I don't think he really further on tried to mention that or anything. So
would you want to mention that? Would you
I don't know if that would that be a negative, like a positive or negative? I don't know. I did see a heavy reaction from Tinker Hell there, though, so I was kind of wondering what you were thinking.
Yeah.
Tinker, you advise not to tell anyone.
No, I just remember a couple ladies who had family members who were in the service, or yes, they sort of, depending on what rank they were or whatever they were, they sort of may have gotten it a little bit more,
Okay, so not taking easy on it
more
at all.
smoke.
Before we get to Twan is asking your favorite memory. Before we get to that, your brother wants to know, you coming home for Christmas or not?
Nope, I'm stuck here. I'm sorry.
She's stuck. But no. Twan says to any of the ladies, what's your favorite memory? Did any of you have a favorite memory?
No favorite.
MRE.
Oh, I
yeah.
thought it was memory. What is that? My bad. I'm so ignorant. I thought it was memory.
She's like, no, no, girl.
Tell me. I'm done. Let me go get another drink. No, this is, by the way.
Mine was
why-
peanut butter and jelly. I would trade anything I had for peanut butter and jelly.
We don't know. Tell us what it is.
Oh, your mess.
So meals ready to eat.
It's meals ready to eat.
Okay.
They're packaged, they're
Mine-
prepackaged meals that have like different stuff inside of it. It's supposed to have enough calories for those who are actually doing, a lot of rigorous stuff. So, what people usually do is take parts of it, and it's another term for it. Just field strip it, sort of tear it all apart, and then people would trade what they wanted with other people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, thank you for educating me.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Anything else
Mine
you want
was
to
the
educate us on? I'm happy to hear.
mine was the beef taco filling. That one was probably my favorite one.
She calls it a filling. That's scary.
Taco filling.
Well, whatever I had, I always had condiments with me. They now have like the Tabasco sauce inside of them, but I always had some with me later on. So, or something, or lemon pepper or Cholula, something that was in my bag to go with my MRE if I had to eat it.
So it sounds like something to disguise the awful food
Yeah,
that they served you is what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at they're all yeah.
That's why I stuck with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, thank you for your service, ladies. I mean, it's been. And are there any final thoughts or last questions that we have? Because we are coming up on our time. I'm happy to stay a little longer, but I don't want to take their time either.
Right. No, I think we have some. Maybe Pac, you had some. What do you call it?
Yeah. She wants to tell us about some great events that the military
Yes,
is
thank
putting
you.
on.
Thank you. Do you have like a Christmas wreath event?
Yeah, so every year on the third Saturday of December, they do wreaths across America, like Christmas wreaths, at all the national cemeteries, and it's nationwide. So you can literally just Google it if you're interested for your area, wherever you're located in the U.S. I think there's like over 3,400 locations currently, and actually, Mother Moon and Spicy Raider Girl came with me last year to the cemetery over here by my house in the South Bay. And it was just an amazing experience. And, you could always donate and purchase a wreath that the volunteers lay it on the graves. And not everyone, has money, especially around December, end of the year. So you could always volunteer your time. I'm really big on volunteering my time. I think time is actually more precious than money. But if you're interested, you can always reach out. I think Spicy has the link I sent. Then if you're here local in the Bay Area, tomorrow, I actually have to look at the flyer I sent you because it's for the vets. But it is... So like a veterans craft fair. And so all the money is going to the veterans for the American Legion here locally. And if anyone had questions, they could always reach out to me or Spicy or Mother Moon, and they can get that info. But she has the flyer there too. So tomorrow it's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. here in the South Bay. But there's, things for veterans is all over the place. So if you're interested, you could always find something local with you. It's always good to give back to people. I volunteered to join after 9/11. I had my uncle was in the Marines in Vietnam, and he was drafted. So not everyone, volunteered in Vietnam. Veterans especially were treated pretty poorly when they came back and weren't welcomed. You guys are doing a great thing. We appreciate, thanking us and bringing awareness and things like that. But not everybody was so generous to, every vet that has served, and even active duty still. So it's good to give back if you can.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thank you for that, Raider Pop. We'll put the flyer and the info on all of our social media. And we went to the event last year. It was a great event.
Yeah.
We were happy to be part of it. And just all the pomp and circumstance of it all was so beautiful. They had veterans, and they had speeches and music and everything. And it feels good to be part of something like that.
Yeah.
So
So let us know. And Tinker Hell, yes, my love. Go
Well,
ahead.
Somewhat along the lines of volunteering, I do give a lot to the USO. USO did a lot for me when I every place I've ever gone to in the airports. If you have nobody to, no place to go, they actually take care of you. My first night home from boot camp with like communication, I actually spent it in the San Francisco USO. My first night home from boot camp, so there's sort of miscommunication. So I ended up spending the first night there, and next morning I got on a bus to drive to Fairfield, or get on the bus to Fairfield. I was in my uniform, and I'm walking, and I see these two gentlemen walking. I thought they may have been Navy officers because they had those stripes, but I think they were Delta pilots. So I ended up saluting them, and they started laughing at me. But they looked like they were in the Navy, but they were like, no, we're just pilots for Delta or United or whoever they were for. But yeah, so I give to USO because they took care of me that night in future times. So
yes, shout out to them as well. I just want to go. Let's go around the panel really quickly before we go, male or female. Anyone that you want to give a shout out to this Veterans Day. Sienna, we'll start with you.
I'd like to give a shout out to my dad. Happy Veterans Day to him.
All right, Tinker Hell.
Give a shout out to my nephew Nathan, who's currently serving at Nellis Air Force Base, just joined.
All right. Raider Pac. Anyone you want to give a shout out to?
I'll just give a shout out to all my friends that I met in the Army that, and after the Army working a contract with the Navy, that become family. And then some of my friends who are no longer here.
Yeah. All right. Raider Rosie, anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to my grandfather and my uncle for their service.
All right. Mother Moon.
Nice. Well, my grandfather also, I've had some uncles, a sister, and just cousins, just everybody in the service as veterans, but they made a big impact in my life, and I appreciate every one of them.
Yes, and I want to give a shout out to my grandfather, Betty Pacheco. He was a paratrooper in the Korean War. So shout out to him. He has passed, but we still want to give some respect. And of course, I also want to shout out my sister Sylvia back here, who is a veteran of the Navy, and all of the veterans out there that have served, including you beautiful ladies. I want to thank our panel. Thank you so much for taking the time. Sienna, all the way over from Korea.
If there's anything we can do,
we're so proud of you. You stay safe, girl. Be in touch. We love you. Tinker Hell, thank you so much for your service. I think we'll see you on Sunday, correct?
Yes, I'm on a plane in the morning.
All right, we'll see you then. Raider Pac, thank you so much for your service. We appreciate you.
We'll see you tomorrow as well.
Any last final thoughts?
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Take care.
I just want to say, remember, it's not just a franchise, it's a
you.
family. You never know what someone is going through, so be kind to one another. Occasionally check up on each other. And Raider Nation, we go out one way and only one
way.
Raider! I want to thank all of our guests. Thank you all for sticking with us tonight. Salute to everybody. Happy Veterans Day. Love you, ladies.
Take
Bye.
care.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.